Well, hello and welcome. This is Hude Hour right here on the Hude Network. I am Blessing Dagin.
And I'm Hannah Omokafe.
Well, also joining us today is Sharon Ajay. Hello, Sharon.
Hi, Blessing. Hi, Omokafe.
Hello,
How
Omokafe.
A pleasant morning to both of you.
Very beautiful morning.
To you too.
Thank
Are you
you.
ladies ready to get it going?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, let's begin with the headlines. The government of Mozambique moves forward with plans to establish Development Bank. World Health Organization celebrates Nepal milestone as rubella eliminated. And finally, Nigeria establishes policy on menstrual health and hygiene management. Well, now let's go to the details of our news. The government of Mozambique is moving forward with plans to establish the Development Bank of Mozambique, designed to provide medium and long-term financing for projects that support industrialization and the transformation of national resources. According to Yao Makaringwe, coordinator of reforms at the Ministry of Economy, the project is now in public consultation. The government expects the bank to be approved by Parliament before the end of this year, with operations set to begin in 2026. The governance model is inspired by experiences in South Africa and Namibia, with a strong focus on independence, transparency, and avoiding political interference. Officials say credibility will also come from partnerships with development agencies and international financial institutions. The bank will target priority sectors such as energy, agriculture, transport, housing, and industry, while attracting international capital to complement Mozambique's limited domestic resources. Experts believe this institution will play a central role in shifting the country away from raw material, exports toward local transformation and value creation, strengthening Mozambique's position in the regional and global economy. Well, when we're talking about development, this looks a lot like development. Mozambique moving forward to establish a development bank. Omokafe, what's your take on this?
I just like you said earlier, this is what we call development, because in 2015, the World Bank had done a report, an economic report on the economy of Mozambique, and they had discovered that there was a very high underemployment rates, and also which was affecting the economy substantially. Now, I believe that this development bank that is about to be created is a response to that particular report that was done by the World Bank. And when it comes to development bank, we know that it's a public financial institution that provides financial support, provides technical support, and of course other financial products that will enable the citizens of that particular country to, power themselves up as regards the financial space or whatever it is that has to do with that. And considering the fact that they are trying to move away from being a raw products export country to becoming a country that can, export refined goods. So this development bank will enable the citizens of that country to be able to access funds that they need, and of course take them away from that high underemployment rate and space to being a country that most of the citizens are employed, gainfully employed, and being able to afford basic things. I think that when a country's economy is good, every other thing follows, every other good thing follows. So I'm looking forward to when it will come to life in 2026, and of course we'll be here to report it.
Well, very well said, Omokafe. Thank you so much for your comment on that, Sharon.
Well, it's a nice thing to see that Mozambique is, about or in the process of getting a development bank by 2026. It's also an amazing thing when African countries take initiative from other African countries, just like Mozambique did with South Africa and Namibia. And I see that the Southern African Bank, they are ready to help the development bank to grow into, the best of its capacity. And just like you said, they are reliant on raw materials and about to shift into local, transformation. And that's an amazing thing. You're taking Ghana for instance, that was where they are. They were, of course, everybody know Ghana as a big country, that's a large cocoa exporters, right? And right now they are trying to look in-house to see how they can produce those cocoa, and export the byproduct. And I would even ask this question: why exporting raw materials when you can actually export byproduct and get more financing to your economy? So it's a huge step. It's a good thing what Mozambique is doing. And also for Nigeria, we are large crude oil exporters. And right now you can tell from, of course, the news, the Port Harcourt refinery, that of Warri that is about to, start, and all of that. We are trying also to export byproducts and not just export raw materials, because if you ask me, that's neo-colonialism, and it's something that we're trying to, of course, shift away from. So this is a huge step for Mozambique. And of course, just like you said again, it will help with their long-term financing, their energy, their transport, their agriculture. It's a huge step. And of course, I give a thumbs up to Mozambique.
Well, thank you so much for your beautiful comment on that. And I must say, you both have really hit the nail on the head, because when it comes to talking about development banks, is one thing a nation can do to strengthen not just its national resources coordination, but also place itself internationally on a very standard level. Now, talking about that, especially in these times where you have international donors, withdrawing or cutting aid, is quite a thing, because now with such innovations, with such steps, Mozambique is able to place itself on a list of countries that are trying to depend now not just on external or international donors, but now creates funding for its own self. So I must say it's quite a big one. And if utilized properly, I'm sure this will be a very, very good and big step that will enable Mozambique stay in the very beautiful limelight. Well, I think we should move on to the next.
Yes, of course. The next story is the fact that Nepal has done something amazing. So rubella, commonly known as German measles, is a highly contagious viral infection that poses a particular risk to pregnant women, often leading to miscarriage, stillbirth, or severe birth defects. While safe and cost-effective vaccines makes it preventable, the World Health Organization has confirmed a significant milestone. Nepal has officially eliminated rubella. The success follows a decade of national immunization drives beginning in 2012, with a mass campaign for children and later integrating the vaccine into the country's routine schedule. Despite major challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic and earthquakes in 2015 and 2023, Nepal maintained over 95% coverage of at least one dose by early 2024. The WHO praised the achievements as the result of government's leadership, tireless efforts of health workers and volunteers, and a strong community engagement. Innovative approaches such as declaring districts fully immunized immunized, and launching new laboratory testing systems also proved critical. From a global perspective, Nepal's progress highlights how sustained political will, community mobilization, and resilient health systems can deliver results even in the face of crisis. Humanitarian experts say the milestone underscores the importance of vaccines in protecting children, supporting maternal health, and advancing sustainable development goals worldwide. We just finished talking about progress, and here is another deep progress right here from the country of Nepal. What would you have to say as regards, German measles, as regards rubella being at least immunized in that particular country?
Well, first of all, I think this is a very big move. In fact, congratulations to start with to Nepal.
Yeah.
When you talk about rubella, you see that it's quite a thing that disrupts the life of mothers, pregnant women especially, and that of their children, because it's quite deadly. And reaching such a milestone, for an Asian country, reaching such a milestone, I must say, is quite commendable. But then two things stand out for me, particularly in this report. The fact that through the hurdles of COVID-19, they were able to maintain, their vaccination schedules and ensuring that women got vaccinated. Because the truth is, when it comes to getting to such very special milestones, one has to be very strategic in his plans. So now Nepal, to me, has done the best they could, and that is why they got to this point. I think it's a cue for other Asian countries, because I think in Asia, apart from Nepal, there are a few others who have also eliminated the rubella. So it's quite a thing for them now to say, oh, we're finally eliminated rubella. It's a big one. However, the steps that were involved in it, I think, are the things that other people should take a cue from, ensuring that strategies of vaccination are kept true to. Because if you check other places where you have vaccine hesitancy, it's quite a thing. They'll say, oh, take vaccines to enable you stay safe from such a disease, but no, myths, disbeliefs, or probably happenings of the past make people a bit hesitant when it comes to it. But I think this is a good one, and other countries should take you from Nepal.
Of course. I love the intentionality of Nepal, because it of course took a lot of strategic, aligning to be able to get to this point from 2012 down to 2015 August, where they finally declared them rubella free. And you could check, of course, how they followed this up. Every 4 years, they made sure that they, follow up to make sure that every child and, of course, mother gets that vaccine. That's, like I said, it's intentional, and they were strategic about it. UN estimated that maternal mortality is declined by 40% between 2020 to 2023. And I would say Nepal definitely played a part in it. Now imagine if other countries took the step that Nepal took. I guess by 2050 and 2025, this year, if UN should give an estimate would, of course, get more declining of maternal mortality. And that's amazing. Nigeria, by the way, have started their campaign of the vaccine campaign, and they started in July, I must say. They started in July, and we want to see the progress, just like we've seen Nepal. Also, Ghana and Burkina Faso suffers from this measles disease. And we're just hoping, although their own complaints, they've been working with the World Health Organization as well as UNICEF, and they've been talking about fundings and all of that. And I hope all of that is being put in place so that we can also have countries that are rubella free.
That was such beautiful contributions from the both of you, because when it comes to Nepal, I dare say that they were as intentional, strategic, and very, very focused, just like both of you had mentioned. This disease came since before 2007 to their country, and by 2007 they had set up, should I say, things in place, something we called case-based system surveillance. And from case-based system surveillance, they had moved all the way to immunization and the rest of it. So you could see their steps from this place to that place. So you can't say that this was a one-night miracle. This was something that it took strategic steps to be able to get to where they are today. So kudos to them and congratulations. And we hope to see them totally free from any kind of disease, of course, if possible.
Well, now we move to our final story for the day, where the federal government of Nigeria has adopted its first national policy on menstrual health and hygiene management aimed at improving the health, dignity, and opportunities of women and girls. Validated in August 2025 in Abuja by the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, the policy was developed through consultations across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, reflecting state-specific priorities and socio-cultural realities. It tackles challenges such as stigma, lack of information, and limited access to safe menstrual products, issues that contribute to school absenteeism, early dropout, child marriage, and early pregnancy. Minister Suleiman Ibrahim, represented by Permanent Secretary Dr. Mariam Kashimbo, stressed that menstrual health is not just a women's issue, but a national development issue. The policy supports several sustainable development goals, including good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and reduced inequalities, ensuring girls can stay in school, participate fully in their communities, and pursue their potential. This policy marks a major step toward empowering girls, reducing school dropouts, and promoting national development in line with global goals. Well, this is good for Nigeria. At least when we're talking about development within the humanitarian and development sector, Nigeria also stands to gain something.
Of course, I would like to say that Nigeria has been able to officially join the campaign because it started in 2018, yes. But right now that the policy has already been sponsored and everything, I dare say that this is the time when we have officially joined this campaign.
Yeah.
This is a very good progress as regards stigmatization of menstrual hygiene or even the menstrual system itself as regards girls, because there are so many girls who will not go to school because I'm menstruating. I don't want somebody to call me dirty. I don't want somebody to say I'm smelling or any of those kind of things. Or even some of the other factors that come with menstruation, like maybe body weakness, or she's purging, or she has some pimples on her face, and people are pointing and staring and all of those kind of things. And then she tries to hide away from that because she doesn't want somebody, or she doesn't want to feel less of herself. It's supposed to teach people, teach boys, teach men, teach even other women. Now I'm looking forward to other things being adopted in this policy and not just teaching people how to go about it. For example, in Kenya, you see that there is a tax reduction as regards menstrual pads. So there's nothing like period poverty. There's no way you will not be able to afford period packages because tax is reduced on it. Also, you have in countries like Scotland, right there, you see that there are menstrual products in every public spaces including schools. So it means that if I cannot afford to buy pads for myself, I can go to my school, and I know that in the public toilets or even in the clinic in that school, I can be able to get pads for free to use. And so if I'm seeing my period 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, I constantly go to school and I'm able to afford this kind of things. And UN Education Agency in 2018 had given a report that 1 in 10 girls do not get to go to school courtesy of the menstrual effect of their bodies. Now, because of this, now girls will be able to go to school, and I'm looking forward to see the current report where to say that this has been able to reduce because girls can now afford period packages.
Well, thank you so much, Omokafe. Sharon, let's have your take.
Yeah, it's an amazing move, I would say. You know, you made mention of period poverty. There's a report that says over 500 million girls suffer from period poverty. Yeah. And it's really a sad thing to know. So this move is actually, you know, it's a good thing. It's a good step, and it's even long overdue. But of course, I applaud the Minister of Women Affairs, Imam Suleiman. She's doing an amazing work. And also the removal of tax from sanitary pad. My goodness, that's a huge step. That is an amazing thing to do. If possible, there shouldn't even be any price on sanitary pad, if you ask me. But of course, I don't make that call. I can only give suggestions. You know, just like I said, it's a good thing because period is not something that you bring upon yourself. It's something that you come to the world with. You know, in Nepal, you know, we talked about Nepal a while ago. In Nepal and India, they top the chart when it comes to secluding ladies, you know, during their period. And it's really a sad sight to behold. In most of those countries, they don't even have access to sanitary pad. At least now we are talking in Nigeria that the tax will be removed from sanitary pad. But other countries, they don't even have access to it. They get to use other materials that causes infection and diseases to their body. So of course, this is a huge step, and I pray for sustainability. Please, by 2030, when of course they're fixed for the framework to be, you know, in check, we hope that the sustainability would be carried along till that day.
Well said, Sharon. Thank you so much. And just to add to or buttress the point you started on, you see, it's very important that we get to this point as a country, because one major thing that limits us is the fact that there is no adequate education for men and people who do not go through menstruation. So they do not know the importance of menstrual health. They do not know how it affects the lives and the daily activities of women and girls. So this, I must say, is a very, very important and very big milestone for Nigeria, because if well implemented, I beg your pardon, it's not just about establishing policies or putting policies on the check mark. It's about implementation. If this is well implemented, I tell you, we would have fixed up to 3 different SDG goals tackling just surrounding this particular issue of menstrual health and management. You would have fixed gender equality, talking about getting access to everything regardless of what you go through. You would have fixed the gap in education. A lot of girls are out of school. The number of girls out of school are more than the number of boys out of school. These are some of the things that influence that. When it comes to work-life balance, you see, sometimes women go through stuff, hormonal imbalances due to menstruation. But, well, some people think it's cliche, or some people think it's myth. Yeah. So there's a need for education for us to put things in place to ensure that this strategy is now implemented to the fore. But then this goes beyond health. It touches on education, gender equality, like I said, and even economic opportunities. And that's exactly what we'll be unpacking after the break with our guest, Dr. Temitope Olufunmi Atoyebi. Now let's go on a short break.
Everybody has a stake in making the world a better place with love and compassion. As we thrive daily, we continue to strive to face the many challenges that faces our Earth, because together we all matter. On one side, we are exploring the captivating stories, the trends, the glamour, while on the other hand, we're looking at the love, the care and compassion from our champions. In our star's quiet cove lies the burning passion for humanity, which is seldom known and unsung to the world. Join me on Famed to look at the flip side of your favorite beyond the regular.
This is the show where stories of women's achievement meet the solutions our world needs today. In a world where challenges abound, women rise above, turning obstacles to opportunities and dreams into lasting impact. They are leaders, they are innovators, they are change makers. From classrooms to boardrooms, from communities to global stages, these women are breaking barriers and shaping our world. Empower is not just a conversation. It's a celebration of courage, resilience, and vision. Join me as I spotlight women who transform society. This is Empower with an H on Hude Network.
For 2 seasons, Timeline has taken you on a journey of exploring real-life issues and solutions. Well, we are on to season 3 of Timeline, a space where we talk about real issues shaping our world. Here, we sit down with voices that matter, with people who are driving change and making impact. We are talking about more than just problems. We're talking about the attainment of our collective commitment, the global goals, the SDGs, and of course, our community-specific targets. Our conversations aren't just about highlighting problems. They're about finding solutions that truly works, solutions that touches lives and impact the globe. An appraisal of how close we are in meeting our global and community targets. We create rooms for honest, thought-provoking conversations, a ride that you wouldn't want to miss. Well, this is Timeline, where conversations lead to solutions that change lives.
Well, thank you so much for staying tuned with us on Hude Hour. Well, now joining us is Dr. Temitope Olufunmi Atoyebi, a lecturer, a STEM and AI advocate, bioinformatics enthusiast, and a social impact analyst with a strong philosophy that no one should be left behind in health or education. It's a pleasure to have you join us, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Just before we went on the break, we were talking about Nigeria's very first policy on menstrual health. I must say Nigeria has hit a jackpot with that. But then coming from your perspective as a health advocate, how do you think this impacts on our nation generally?
All right. It's a beautiful thing to be here this morning. And I think I must commend Hude Network for bringing all these ones on board. And then the federal government as a whole, it's something that's actually been lingering for too long. And then we actually got to know that it's not all about Nigeria. It's a global endemic. It's an epidemic that actually needs a very severe attention. And I think I must commend the Ministry of Health, all the agencies, all the parastatals, all, including PPP, that's a public-private partnership that have actually been doing a huge they have actually been putting in a whole lot of effort in actually ensuring that we see to the end of this menace. And this policy in regards, because we're in Nigeria, of course, so I think we should address it from the Nigerian perspective first before we now move on to the global view entirely. Okay, from Nigeria aspect, we've gotten to know that quite a number of girls are out of school because of this stigmatization, and then it's a joy for every one of us to really got to know that, and that's one in quotes will no more be there, because everyone will now be on that awareness, including the boys, including the adults, including even the male and female, because a global menace, as I've actually said. So I'm actually looking at this implementation. We'll see to it from the local government perspective, moving on to the states, and then to the federal level, and then before we now graduate to the global world. So I think the awareness is something that's supposed to be ongoing. They drive it down to the grassroots, and then everyone should be aware that it's not a sin for a girl child or an adult, a female adult, to be on a period. It's a gift from God. Yeah. And we didn't actually create ourselves. God created all of us. Even in religious aspect, I think all of them also need to be in the know-how, because while I was growing up, I got to know that in both religion, that it's a bit,
widely accepted in Nigeria.
Accepted, yes. That's the Christian and then the Islam. They said if a girl child is actually menstruating, there's a way they secluded you. You should be at the back. You can't do any sort of worship to God. And fine, they see us as being dirty. So I think in quotes, we are actually removing all those ones with this policy that the federal government just signed into bill. And that's from the religious aspect. So from the local to the states to the federal, all this has to be driven. Everyone, desensitization has to start going now. They have signed it. This is September now. So I feel that the work should start in earnest. There should be nothing delaying it, especially as the school year is actually commencing by next week, Monday. Though we have a whole lot of things coming into play, change of curriculum, change of textbooks. But notwithstanding, I feel everything should go pari passu, because the health ministry agency, they have actually done a whole lot of it. And I think it's something we shouldn't hold on to. It should go pari passu, and then we drive it in. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's really a wonderful answer to cement on the fact that girls menstruating is a natural thing. It's not something that they decided that they wanted to do. It's something they came with, and I think that should be hammered on every single time in both the young boys' ears, the young girls' ears, and even the adults' ears. So we'll move straight to our second question. Now, as a person, an advocate who believes in very inclusive and also differential learning, specifically now, I would like you to, expatiate on how this particular policy would, have an effect on school absenteeism and also on every other kind of thing as regards education.
All right, we are looking at inclusivity, and then as we have actually rightly said previously about the SDG goals, and then SDG 3, in fact right from 1, no poverty, no hunger, good health and well-being. 4, that's quality education. So I think everything culminates together from 1, 2, 3. They are like everything is
like a
joined. Yes, joined, like they are like moving in a loop. So from what you said now, inclusivity involves that even those ones that can talk, those ones that cannot talk, a well-reasonable person should know that when a girl child tells you, okay, please, I need to I need to have some privacy. You don't really have to actually dive into deep details to know that, okay, what do you want to do? Or you just quickly grab a girl child bag, and then whatever you see there, you take it as it is. Okay, inclusivity in the whole sense of it, that even from the young age, it's not all girl child that are very vocal. Some of them are very reserved. So I expect that once everyone is being sensitized about this, no one should feel possibly I'm being stigmatized and being and I don't know which other word to use. So I feel that everyone should be in the know out of all those ones. There should not be any child left behind. all girl child should be well treated by the school, community, religious places, marketplaces, mention it.
Even parents.
Even parents, exactly. Okay, we are getting there. Parents, for a girl child, it's expected that parents should make a provision for your girl child, because of course, if you cannot make provision for your child, I don't know who else on earth will definitely make provision. But we have seen some parents that are actually incapacitated, and then that's where the issue of PPP comes into play. My girl told me that I think on 2 different occasions now, different agencies and NGOs have actually visited their schools, and I think during the time when we marked the World Girl Child Day, and then the World Menstruation Hygiene Day, that was on May 28th, if I'm not mistaken. She came on with a pad. In fact, the pad is still somewhere. She adores it. She just plays. Hey, are you not going to wear this? Then mommy, just leave it. I really appreciated. All of us sent messages. In fact, some of us that can actually see them in person, we actually express our heartfelt appreciation to tell them that, okay, no, you guys have actually gone an extra mile to make sure every single girl in that school got the pad. So we can actually go miles in ensuring that every person, I'm talking in the case of when a parent is incapacitated, you can make available pad for your girl child. And there are other means, other alternative. You could go to the market, cut a very clean clothing into pieces, tutor your girl child how she's going to do it. Once you are done with the first one, wash it. You change every 3-4 hours, depending on your flow, if you have a very heavy flow person, or no matter how, 4 to 8 hours, you must ensure that you always change your pad. If you can, that is in a case if you cannot afford. But I think the whole world is we are actually doing a whole lot in case of Scotland. As I actually said, I think Sharon, right? If I'm not mistaken, mentioned that Scotland is actually doing a whole lot in that area. They make it free, and even if it cannot deliver to your house, you can make a phone call, 211 or 211.org. Just reach out to them. Okay, please, I'm in need of this and this and this. You said it's also another agency in collaboration. UNICEF is also collaborating with us in Nigeria to really make sure that every child is catered for. So no child should be left, right? That, okay, you're on your own, you're this, you're that. Irrespective of the age, even as we have some adults that are even suffering. But some of them might not be able to come out plain to you that, oh, I don't have this. But I think government has also done a whole lot by also removing the tax. Government of Nigeria, I think in the auspices of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has actually lifted that tax off us from the tax reform. I think last week I listened to it, and he said that from all sanitary pads, sanitary towels, and I think there's something that Nigeria is not also embracing that other countries are looking. Not only Nigeria anyway. I think UAE, that's United Arab Emirates, and Ghana, and Mozambique, and a whole lot of other countries. I think like 5 of them. There's also what we call the trampoles. Like that one looks a bit like round. I don't know why we don't encourage that in Nigeria, but I think outside, which the sport people or those are actually involved in swimming, those ones they make use of to make them comfortable. Because even this one we are wearing, some of us are not very comfortable while wearing it. And then a girl child tends to be, I don't know, gets to be withdrawn when such is happening.
Well, that could be the hormones playing out. But then because of time, let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Now, you've often said you are passionate about STEM and also innovation, talking about AI. So what role do you see AI playing, when it comes to this menstrual health policy being implemented or being passed by the federal government of Nigeria?
Okay. We are in the era of artificial intelligence. Innovations are still ongoing. Technologies are emerging by the day. And then we have so many people collaborating, so many academia, industrial agencies, even on a global level. I think I mentioned USAID, I mentioned UNICEF, World Health Organization is not also left behind. And then we have, there are so many NGOs also ready their hands are open to actually embrace this, because what is happening to a girl child, I think it's a global menace. It's not just a girl child, because we should make allowance for each other as far as in society is concerned. Okay, in the aspect of artificial intelligence, we could use artificial intelligence to actually learn about patterns. Pattern recognitions. Okay, a girl coming from United Kingdom is used to this particular type of pad. We have different pads in place.
Yeah.
I could remember while I was growing up, while in secondary school, Procter and Gamble now, I think they've exited our country.
I think so.
Yes,
I've not seen that.
Yeah. They came on board to my school. I attended Queen's School Ibadan.
Okay.
They came on board on different occasions and also still distributed pad, as I've earlier said. And up till today, I don't think I've seen that particular type they give to us. Very light, it's a cotton type, and then it absorbs.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, the very first time I wore it, I've been using pad, but when I wore theirs, I was like, wow. So I felt that with AI will be able to learn through my patterns to actually know that, okay, A likes this, Afsat like this, Blessings likes this. Okay, so let's give it to her. So even if I'm giving you for free of charge, I wouldn't bring something you do not like, something your body reacts to. So with artificial intelligence on board, we'll be able to do what? To tell me the particular type I actually like to wear. You know, it's another thing to receive a gift. It's another thing to appreciate that gift given. So I'm saying it how many years passed now, right? And I'm still making
left
reference.
a mark.
Yeah. Because I could still remember. It's still something very evergreen in my memory. So many inventions are still actually ongoing in the area of artificial intelligence, of course, and then we can't rule that out. It's a new policy that's just been signed in, and I really want to believe the implementation is still something that will still keep evolving. So I felt that it's something we should take gradually, but we shouldn't relax about it. As I've earlier said, let the drive start. Let everybody let the coverage. Not only in Nigeria, it's a global thing, because even adults, I've seen adults. Okay, I didn't tell you this one. Last semester that we had our exam, I have a female person, student in 300 level. She's in 400 level now, because we are resuming by, I think, next week on the 15th. I think lectures will start October in earnest. I happen to be the advisor. They have a paper for that morning. She has actually been forthcoming. She's a bright student. She's not somebody that is not always so I know her. I know all of them by their names. So I just received a call that particular morning. I think it was second to the last paper of theirs. And then the elder sister called me, was like, am I so that she's sorry this, she's the elder sister to this particular student. And then I said, what happened? I hope all is well. She said, no, all is not well. That as I talk to you now, she's lying down on hospital. I said, hospital what? She said, the thing just started yesterday. I said, yeah, but I still saw her yesterday, full of life, active. We even smile, we crack jokes together. She said that anytime her period comes, it's always come with cramps, always come with headache, always come with all manner of things that is, in fact, very unbearable. That she's in hospital now, that she doesn't know what and what, but she felt that I should be intimated with it so that she won't have to carry over her exams. So I said, okay, that's fine. So once she's fine, extend my heartfelt greetings to her. And then once she's fine, let her you're going to write a letter on her behalf with the hospital report and the like. As school is also in the know-how, we don't castigate anyone because of also menstrual. Because she's not in the right frame of mind as at that
So there's room for her to take it.
There was room for her then. So she came back and wrote the exams. They brought all the medical, and coupled with the fact that I was in the know-how, they put a call across to me. So I think sensitization should go around that. It's not a barrier. It shouldn't be something that we should take with levity. In fact, when it happens, everyone should be ready. We should empathize. Even a boy child should empathize. We should be ready to to swing into the mood, because you know it comes with so many things ahead. And it's just a phase. It's just a few days.
To get
max
past
7 days. I've never seen anyone having 7 days, but I think according to statistics, they told us
There are.
maximum from 2 to 7 day period.
There are.
Okay, so maximum 7 days, it will all be over. So for every one of us to also key into it and then and be ready to help.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that variable experience that you have shared with us about this girl not being segregated or stigmatized because she was menstruating and could not write an exam. Now that leads us to the next question, because there are so many girls that are in the rural areas now. How can this policy in itself reach them? Because like this girl, she can access technology, her sister can access technology, they can put a call through to you. But other girls in this, remote areas, marginalized areas that cannot access technology, how would the policy even get to them first of all before even its effect reaching them?
Okay, it's not a one man business show. It's all encompassing, as I've actually said. So this policy has to be driven to the grassroots, right from the religious head to our traditional leaders, to all our collaborators. Every single person must hear of it. It should be broadcasted just like what we are doing. People are listening to us all over the world, right? Okay, they should not, it's not only in Nigeria we have rural area. Even in United Kingdom, in the United States, we also still have some interiors that people don't usually, but their interiors, you can't compare interior. There are interiors, there are interiors. Yes.
Yeah.
But this particular policy cut across both the developed and the developing countries. So like what you said now, there's a need for us to reach out to them. It's not only one person that will go there. PPP, private NGOs, we have to go there. Government, we also have to possibly come up with like an awareness, like a training, the empowerment, where they tend to educate everyone to tell them the significance of this milestone in terms of this policy. So when while all hands are on deck, everyone has gotten to know about it. I wouldn't know that, there's a saying that if there is no law, there is no sin, right? Okay, so once I know the implication, I know the consequences of stigmatizing or of labeling somebody, then I wouldn't rather dive into that. I would definitely look out for how I can actually harness things together to also support such people, right? Especially those that theirs usually comes with all manner of complications. We are different the way God created us. Some of us now, when we are having it, people might not even know. You are fine, you are still jumping up and down. While some, just like the girl, this particular student I mentioned, just starting, rolling on the floor, she couldn't eat, she couldn't stand, she could not sit.
That's a lot.
It got to that. In fact, it's a whole lot. I was like, they took the video, they took the snapshot of it. I was like, wow, this one is a very serious thing. So campaigns has to start going where they educate everyone. Okay, even for female child, these are the things you should do. Don't eat this, don't do this, don't do that. When you know about the do's and the don'ts, I also feel that to also go a long way.
I'm so sorry to cut you, Ma, but for time's sake, we may have to hurriedly put an end to the interview. But then finally, before we go, being that this policy affects not just like you said, the sustainable development goals we're looking towards achieving by 2030, I mean, it encompasses lots of them. Finally, how do you see this policy contributing generally to the achievement of the sustainable development goals for Nigeria particularly?
Okay, for our dear country, Nigeria, we are left with 4.5 years left. It's not even up to 4.5. This is September now. We are left with 4 years and then few months
to 2030,
to 2030 in attaining these goals, and we are just signing off our own policy. Oh, okay. It's not far-fetched. I'm not saying it's not going to be attainable. All hands have to be on deck. Everyone has to be ready to make this work. It's not a job of a principal. It's not a job of you as the media person. It's not only, it's your job anyway, but it's not only your job. Even the market women, everybody has to be in
Involved.
this, know how that, oh, no, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I shouldn't do. This is what is expected of me. So in attaining the SDG, the awareness, information is key. Information is power. So the government should keep doing it. The PP should keep doing it. All NGOs should keep doing it. In schools, I think ministries, we have to move around all schools, or possibly a circular should keep going on, possibly every week to sensitize everyone. Okay, this is the level we are now. This is what we're supposed to do next. Okay, this is what we have attained. I think I was going through the United Nations website, and I noticed that even right from 2015, when this 2015 down to 2018, and then down to this year, I could see some progressive reports. If you go there, it's on their site. Year 1, what they've achieved. Year 2, even for this year, there's a progress report already
Of
there.
course.
So everyone should be carrying. Nothing should be hidden. It shouldn't be a secret code. It should be an open door policy. And that is how we could actually support. One tree cannot make a forest. So if you do your part, I do my part, all of us come together, the whole world will be a better place for every girl, child. And even in our workplace, I will actually create the indulgence of our employer to also be in the, on the side of supporting this policy. Because like I said, in terms of an hormonal imbalance, we react differently. Yes. So, and the government has actually done a whole lot, all thanks to the Ministry of Women Affairs under the auspices of the
President.
Imam.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Temitope. It's been quite an amazing conversation. Thank you for lending your voice to the cause.
Thank you so much, Hude Network. It's been an amazing time being here.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to a very short break. When we return, we will be joined again by Sharon, and she'll be telling us what women are doing in the space. Please stay with us.
This is the show where stories of women's achievement meet the solutions our world needs today. In a world where challenges abound, women rise above, turning obstacles to opportunities and dreams into lasting impact. They are leaders, they are innovators, they are change makers. From classrooms to boardrooms, from communities to global stages, these women are breaking barriers and shaping our world. Empower is not just a conversation. It's a celebration of courage, resilience, and vision. Join me as I spotlight women who transform society. This is Empower with an H on Hude Network.
This is still Hude Hour right here on the Hude Network. Well, now we are here with Sharon Ajay, and she's here to give us details of what women are doing in this space.
Yeah, thank you. Well, hi, Amokafi. Before we go further, I would like to say Dr. Temitope's insight was amazing, really. And it just gives me so much joy that things pertaining to women are being seen. And of course, we are being heard at this point. And I hope that policy gets implemented as soon as possible. Well, let's turn to women in the news and what they are saying and doing in the world. Firstly, we have Melinda French Gates. She has been in the spotlight lately for a new memo, The Next Day. The Next Day is about navigating life's major transitions, drawing from her personal experiences with motherhood, divorce, loss, and leaving the Gates Foundation to offer lessons on embracing change and finding one's voice, which is of course set to be released this month. In a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal, WSJ, she shared a piece of advice that she received from the world's most popular investor, Warren Buffett, a very close friend of her ex-husband and Microsoft founder, Bill Gates. When asked who she turns to for advice, Melinda French Gates replies, in a word, I write down a lot of quotes that people tell me over time, so I can replay them in my head. Now, in a memo, friend Gates also discusses the importance of taking a pause during periods of change. She referred to this time as the clearing, the space between leaving one chapter of life and starting another, as a time for reflection and learning. Next, we turn to Christine Lagarde. Well, she recently berated the US President Donald Trump's attempts to interfere with the Federal Reserve, and she said it could pose a serious danger to both the US and global economy. Now, in her words, she says the US monetary policy obviously has effect within the United States to maintain price stability and ensure optimal employment. If it were no longer independent for this purpose and instead dependent on the dictate of one person or another, then I believe the balance of the US economy and consequently the effect that it has on the entire world, since it is the largest economy in the world, would be very troubling. She also said she thinks it would be difficult for Trump to take control of the Federal Reserve due to legal complications. Well, I was saying, women lending their voices in regards to, first, I'll say economy, and secondly, women coming out from a point where, would I say a point where you feel that there is no coming out from, if I would say, Blessing, what's your take on this?
Well, interestingly, today seems to be like we're talking women, and we're women on the set. But then it's just all in a bid for sustainability and development at the end of the day. Talking about Christine Lagarde, to me, she's quite an icon. Standing up to a man as bold as Trump. Yeah. This is not in any way gender wars or whatever. But then it's quite important that women are not, they are no longer being seen as maybe just objects to be used at home to take care of children. I mean, she is the president of the European Central Bank. Woman is doing really well for herself. So I think it's really good standing up and speaking out for such policies that do not really seem okay with her. I must say a big thumbs up to her. And well, to Melinda, she's doing well. She's really doing well. It just shows how resilient women could be in times of troubles. And I just pray she gets it on well and she eventually stands strong at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I dare say that Christine Lagarde is being a mother, because being a mother is not just about taking care of your own personal children, but as president of that particular bank, she's also taking care of every single person who is connected to that bank. And like you rightly said, you said she's standing up to Trump, and Trump is the president of America, and she's bold enough to stand up. It's like a mother, and she's bold enough to stand up to whatever kind of predator that is coming to take her cheek, and that's exactly what she's doing there. She's standing up for women, just like we have other powerful women in Nigeria, like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who was the one-time Minister of Finance in Nigeria, and we could see how she was able to boost Nigeria's economy as a woman. Also, we are looking at Melinda Gates and seeing how she's able to, come out from whatever challenges that she's going through. So whatever it is that she is, she knows how, she has the most emotional intelligence as a woman to be able to come out of that perfectly and still be sound and still be able to, cause impact in the world. Likewise, other cases. So yes, women in power.
Amazing. I love the compliment and appraisals these women are getting. That is the effect of SDG 4. That's what quality education, and of course SDG 5, gender equality. This is what is playing out right now. Well, that's all we have for you on what women are saying in the news.
Now we go on a very short break. When we return, we'll now turn to Omo Cafe to give us details of what youths are doing in the news. Well, thank you so much for being there. Now we turn to Omo Cafe. Dennis.
Hi. Well, welcome to my space, where I'm going to be spotlighting all the youths that are doing amazing, impactful work across the various fields in the world. Now, first person on our list today is Sanjana Sanghi from India. Actor Sanjana Sanghi has been invited by the United Nations Youth Office to join the judging panel for the 5th cohort of Young Leaders for the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, Her appointment recognizes her work as a youth advocate and champion for social change. Sanjana joins a panel of influential figures from the UN, entertainment, civil society, and the private sector. The panel's task is to select young changemakers who are addressing critical global issues. She follows a distinguished list of former panelists, which includes Malala, Kodi Singh, Lily Singh, Dia Miza, and Forrest Whitaker. This new role will allow her to amplify the voices of young leaders, reinforcing the idea that youths are not just future leaders but active agents of change in the present. Sangi's selection is a testament to her work as a youth advocate. As the Indian UNDP India Youth Champion, she has promoted social innovation led by young people and supported campaigns for child rights and gender equality. Her work and commitment place her alongside a distinguished list of former panelists, as mentioned before. Now, our next story is the fact that nearly $8,000 raised for Kevin Kelly Philanthropy Vision. Celebrity hairstylist Kevin Kelly hosted his 5th annual charity fashion show, raising approximately $8,000 to launch his new non-profit, Kevin Kelly Vision. The sold-out event with a denim and diamonds theme was held in August 2025 at the Ban in South Holland. The event drew about 200 guests and featured a runway show. The evening also included live entertainment, specialty cocktails, and a silent auction. And also, attendees also received gift bags with products from luxury brands. Several celebrities attended, including Jenny Fali from JC Store and her fiancé Zach Capinello, along with Lauren and Daniel and Natil Cabral from Real Housewives of New Jersey. The fashion show served as the official launch of Kevin Kelly's Vision, a non-profit organization dedicated to expanding Kelly's philanthropic work. His past charitable efforts have supported organizations like the Brain Foundation and Dress for Success. We can see how beautiful youths are causing social change in their respective societies in India and of course in Kevin Kelly's country. And we're seeing that this is not just they are being seen. So the UN is recognizing them, their fellow celebrities are recognizing them, other people in their communities are receiving their impacts, are feeling their impacts, and they are going to be known for years. Their praises are going to be sung. You know, it's just like this person is a star. This person, everybody knows this person. But of course, we ourselves in this community have been able to feel this person's impact.
Well, I think it's quite interesting, the fact that it's not just about being known. It's not just about being young. It's about creating change. It's about improving or promoting sustainability at the end of the day. And I think that's what people or youths like Sanjana is doing. I must applaud her, likes of Lionel Messi. I think he's also a goodwill ambassador for UNICEF.
Yes,
and then Sanjana being a UNDP
youth advocate for India.
I think it's quite important that we get to a point where youths are not just known for being youthful. We're known for promoting and safeguarding our future. And I think that's what such people are doing, and youths all around the world should tap into that. It's actually a gold mine. And then, yeah, creating such an avenue for fundraising to that amount.
$8,000.
Good job.
Applaudable.
Oh, blessing, you've spoken well. You literally picked out my words, my thoughts rather. How would I say it? Well, it's amazing what Sanjana is doing. And I love that the UN recognizes these young leaders, you know, just like Malala. And I'm super glad that she's in the same panel Malala was last year. It's amazing to use our voice and of course to make change as a youth advocate. That's really amazing. And well, I'm actually hearing of Sanjana for the first time, and I think I'm so interested in her, and I'm going to, you know, go read about her and see what she's doing in the development space. And for Kelly, well, that's a huge amount. And of course, for a philanthropist as him, it's an amazing work he's doing. And this is kudos to all youth and of course, everyone lending their voice to make a change in the society and the world at large.
Of course. Well, that's how we wrap it up for the youth segment. Youth doing amazing things in their home countries and beyond.
Well, thank you so much, Omo Cafe, for your segment. Thank you so much, Sharon, as well. You guys have brought a very beautiful perspective to the show this morning. Well, this is where we call it quits on today's edition of Hude Hour. Ensure to join us again for another enlightening conversation. I am Blessing Dagin.